Restarting 30 seconds. Alrighty, so let's have a rematch.
Yeah, I think we should totally do a rematch, like one where you get to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super important.
Is it on?
It'll be on in just a moment.
Yep.
Waiting for it, waiting for it. Wait for it. There we go. And we're live. Excellent.
Nice.
So
we're back.
Let's.
What? All right, this has been a big mess. Oh my God! So randomly, Kind Coffee just won the 1,000 ice. I am not giving Kind Coffee the 1,000 ice.
The odds?
What are the odds of that? All right, I am going to re-roll because Taka is not getting the ice. All right.
All right. Let's have a rematch. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Not sure what's going on, but. Let's try this again.
So Veilfire is a winner.
So I'm going to play Scarf this time, and hopefully things will run smoothly.
Yes.
I restarted my computer, so maybe my computer is having a bad time.
All right, so Veilfire is a winner. Blizziv is a winner. Let's give away one more, and then we'll try this all over again. Gallo Eddie is a winner. Okay, so you each won 1,000 ice. We're giving away 1,000 ice to 3 lucky players each match. Mm-hmm. The way that you are eligible is by following the channel and by just watching. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to spam. That's how you win, and after every match we'll do that. And so Sickness and Crew, I don't know what kind of bragging rights you get for that. I think we're going to have to try that again.
We will have to try that again.
All right, so we try to do a few questions here so far. Tension bow, we talked about. I think everyone heard that. Scarf,
hopefully you guys heard the answers.
I think everyone heard that Scarf pretty much, just to recap, if you are not using the heroic perk, if you are not lighting someone on fire and then basic attacking as many times as you can without getting caught out, then you're not utilizing Scarf. You're not taking advantage of all of Scarf's hidden power. Yes. So try an alternating current. Try a tension bow even, just to see what it's like to get those basic attacks in that make the flames get hotter and hotter. And I think we might, in the next update, even have a little bit of visual help.
So
on that
one of the
as well.
things, I think one of the things that was really good feedback, especially from you guys in the community that we're talking about, where is Scarf's damage, is that I went back through and we added in a bunch of effects to try and improve and help you guys visualize exactly how Scarf's damage comes out. Because also it didn't feel very fun when you were the enemy of Scarf and somebody did understand how to complement his perk, and then the enemy, like the Scarf was like tearing you apart and you didn't understand why these damage numbers were happening. So in our next update that you guys get, you'll see that Scarf has some pretty dramatic visuals that should help visually show you guys where this damage is coming from and make him feel even more visceral and more amazing.
All right, cool. So I think,
that's
did we restart this? Did we do a rematch with Sickness and his crew? All right, good. So
we'll take him down this time, hopefully.
Yes.
I'll do my best.
So let's see. So Dormammu, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I see him all the time in the forums and line chat. Just wanted some details, wanted you to share about the formation of Super Evil Megacorp and what led all the founders to say, hey, let's quit our jobs and make, in his words, the best MOBA on iOS possible.
Oh man, that's a great
The
backstory.
short version.
So but I'm going to tell you guys the short version because otherwise Playoff Fear will kick me in the shins. Making a game company is really fun. If you ever have a chance with any of your friends or something, once you guys graduate college or anything, and that's something that you endeavor to do, I highly encourage it. It's also really, really hard. Super Evil Megacorp was started by myself and Tommy.
That's the real Krull.
The real Krull. He and I met at a former game studio. We were immediately close friends, found that we had a lot in common in what we liked about really, really high fidelity games, super visceral, white knuckle, edge of your seat kinds of games. Games that you're laughing, you're crying, like that cause an emotional feeling, and we wanted to make those kinds of games. And we looked we looked back at what we were into when we were in college and grad school. And we used to play Mario Kart, and we would play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and we would play all these really awesome games where we'd be able to play with our friends. And we found that the next generation of kids that are growing up with these touch devices, they don't have those same kind of games available to them on those devices. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to sort of give our experiences that we had growing up and falling in love with real, true, hardcore gaming. We wanted to make that available and give the next generation growing up on touch gaming the opportunity to enjoy those things too, to make friends. That's the other part. Like, you make so many friends when you play games. I mean, you guys know this. You make so many close friends, and I have a bunch of buddies that I've made over the years that we're still friends to this day. But we started out, meeting in gaming. And then from there, if you just fast forward, there's like a lot of work, a lot of work, and then it started the dawn of Super Evil. We grabbed Bo, who was one of our co-founders, an amazing guy. He's our CEO. He was our third founder, and then Q, whose surprise birthday, also our fourth founder, and that sort of started the nucleus of the team. And we thought that we could make a legitimate and authentic experience with Vainglory, make a game that feels something, that you feel something when you're playing, something super intense, but we knew it was going to be a lot of work, and it turned out to be a lot of work, and it's still a lot of work, and hooray! But that was the start of it all. That's where it all came from.
And so why a MOBA?
Why a MOBA? Because MOBAs captured that feeling. We didn't feel like there was anything entrant on the platform that created that kind of experience for people. We thought that MOBAs themselves were also really, really good at creating a competitive space that is both emotional and hardcore at the same time. Because there are some games, very, very good games out there, but some games that, like if you play an MMO, an MMO can often, especially at high level, it can be very hardcore. There's a lot of stats tracking, there's a lot of team coordination, but the kinds of feelings that you're feeling aren't the same. And MOBAs give that kind of intensity in a much smaller package. And so when we were looking at opportunities we felt we could bring to the platform, MOBAs rose to the top.
Nice. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Sure.
This is from Caleb01, but it's from many, many different players.
Oh, God.
Who are saying, can you tell us anything about the next hero and when he or she will be released?
Everybody wants to know secrets. See, this is why I like you guys, because we're Super Evil Megacorp, and you guys are Super Evil Gamer Player Corp. We're gonna let that one go. So secrets about the next hero.
Oh dear.
I can't tell you a whole lot because I am actually sitting next to Playoff Beard, and he is going to police this and make sure that I don't give away too much.
I may or may not be kicking him under the table.
Yes, he might be kicking me under the table.
Confirmed he is.
yes, but I will say this. Number one, there are more heroes coming. Always. There will always be more heroes coming until we stop running the game, which is hopefully never. Secondly, the next hero that's coming up is... Can I say that? It's like... Okay, see, I got confirmation. I can say that the next hero that is coming is actually part of a trio of heroes that we have planned to release all together, who all have a common backstory and are interlinked in a really, really cool way.
Well, we're not going to wait and drop them all at the same time, because then you have to wait longer. So when he says all together, he means their stories are interrelated, their play styles might be interrelated,
maybe a little bit. There's a lot. They've been all conceptualized and designed as a trio of three. The first of this trio is I can't say a lot about without giving away too much, and I think Playoff Beard would kick me. So what I'll say is it's the next hero is not a mage, and it is not an assassin.
Useful information.
Read into that what you will.
Yes. Confirm, not Taka.
Probably from
it is not Taka nor Scarf.
From the existing roles, but
yes.
not those. So I think you guys are going to be really excited. you know, our team has been working on these 3 heroes, and I think it's going to add a lot to the game. And definitely keep your eye on the news section in the game over the holidays, because you'll definitely be seeing stuff
if you want
start
some
to roll
sneak peeks
out.
about what's coming out, we have some cool stuff planned for you guys. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be kick-ass.
All right, yes, and for the people asking, yes, this is the beard. Playoff Beard has the beard. Yes, okay.
He has the beard.
From Irritated, if when text chat or voice chat is added to the game, what is Super Evil's solution to the toxicity that is kind of associated with chat in the genre? So for those who don't know, chat in its very early stages is in the game in kind of limited release while we are monitoring that very carefully, and we are iterating on that. And definitely, you know, at some point in the future, everyone is going to have chat in the game. So this is a good question. This is a relevant question.
Yeah. So one philosophy behind Super Evil Megacorp, we love you guys. Like, we made this game because we love you guys. We are bonded with you because we love hardcore games. We think these things are freaking awesome. And we're really happy that anybody that's watching the stream that's enjoying playing Vainglory is having fun with it, because that, at the end of the day, is the reason we do this. That said, we are also very protective of people's ability to have fun. And there's this saying, the customer is always right. That's not always the case here. We will always support you guys and do a lot, but if there are players that are trying to be toxic or rude or really ruin the game playing experience for other players, that's not welcome. That is not welcome in any form or fashion. So we take toxicity in our community really seriously. We want people to have an enjoyable time when they come and they play Vainglory. That said, coming to both text and voice chat, when we're thinking about how these things work, we obviously want to make sure that people aren't going to use them to be incredibly rude and really abusive to each other. And so we want to try to balance both things. We have some ideas. I can say that. I can't announce yet exactly what those ideas are, but it's you're going to see as we update by update are rolling out more and more features that support social play, or as you're seeing connection, as you're seeing things coming online with things like chat, you will also see that hopefully in every single case we have given thought to toxicity and how to prevent it as best as possible. And even if we don't get it right, we are very committed to eventually getting it right. So even if it's not correct right at release, we will always pivot, respond, and make sure that it gets there.
It's a big team fight happening.
It was. I know. I got distracted halfway through that answer. I was like, "Woo!" Sorry that you lost.
Yeah, we're getting our butts kicked. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're pretty good.
I was doing better when I was playing.
But
it's a shame.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the reality is that we work on features for the game and we put them in the game, but it doesn't stop there. You know, we're listening to you guys all the time, and you know, sometimes we get it right and you guys are excited, and sometimes we don't, and that's why we're listening, and then we're going to make changes. Yes. And chat is one of those areas where it definitely might evolve over time as we get your feedback, but it's something that, you know, Nito has been thinking about for a long time. I know just because of all the lunch conversations I've had with him. And so I'm pretty happy with kind of where the plans are at, and we'll obviously be listening to you guys online in the forums, on Reddit, and et cetera, and kind of see how we did, and then go from there.
One of the hardest things to balance in a MOBA, in case you've never had a chance to work on one, here's a bit of a secret. One of the hardest things to balance is frustration. And I knew that before we even started creating Vainglory. It comes from the heroes you're playing against, when you feel like your teammates are too weak, when you feel like your enemies are too strong, when you feel like somebody's being abusive to you through chat. There's so many different ways players can get frustrated. So I'm constantly thinking about how do I keep everything as pleasant and happy for everybody as possible, while simultaneously giving you guys the ability to talk with each other.
All right, so I mentioned Reddit. So the official Vainglory subreddit is Vainglory Game. So that's the subreddit. You can look for it there. Taking a few questions from there. So
speaking about the subreddit, we do have a contest for the new Reddit Snoo the little alien dude on our subreddit. So
There's a
if
segment
you're an
for you.
artist, gonna make a post on Monday, and whoever makes the most awesomest of snooze, will get some prizes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Very good, very good. So, Kellene on Reddit, he's got a couple good questions here I wanted to ask. So, one of them was, what factors went into the design decisions behind one lane in a large jungle, versus the obvious alternatives there?
Yeah. Making a map in a MOBA is hard. Ironically, everything about making a MOBA is hard, but from the start, we were super respectful about how MOBAs are generally made. And in case you guys don't know, MOBAs were first birthed from Aeon of Strife, which turned into Dota, which was a map mod way back on the day in StarCraft, yeah. And the really great thing about MOBAs and how their gameplay came together is it was super organic. There were thousands of people all the time making experiments and trying to figure out how does it feel best. And what came out of it is what you commonly see in a MOBA, which is the 3 lanes, the 2 enemy bases at either side, the towers along the lanes. And that came out, that won the day because it had all of the proper number and amount and elements, and it was great, and it's still great. That means when we were looking at making a new map for a MOBA, we did not have that at our availability. We didn't have thousands of hours or thousands of people to experiment with what would be the correct thing. So in making the MOBA, there were a couple of concessions that I wanted to make out of the gate. If it's going to be 3v3, I wanted to still feel like the grandfather MOBA of the 3-lane. Which means the way that players interact with each other and the way that team fights. You gotta kill! Oh my god! Woo! That's right, guys. Super evil in the house. What?
We have 1 kill. Excellent.
Like a boss, George.
Doing work. Doing
That's
work.
right.
This is a good
Doing strong work.
This is a good game.
This is a really good game.
You have to pull up the scoreboard at some point.
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, 1 to 15.
Oh my.
1
Done.
15. Solid.
Done.
It's that pedal again. We're seeing a lot of that pedal build with the breaking point.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
a bunch
breaking
of
point
defense.
pedal. Mhm.
It's quite strong.
That's a strong
It is
pedal
quite
build.
strong. It is very strong. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Back to what I was saying. I got all excited halfway through because we got a single kill over here. So the way that we ended up designing the map is super nerdy, and I have no idea if Playoff Beard is actually going to let me talk real, like, hardcore, like, super game designy kind of stuff. But there's a good map is based off of tension. You have not tension like tension bow. I mean that there's always this balance of greed versus risk. The player wants something, but to get that something, they have to put themselves in danger to do it. So if you've played any MOBA, you'll notice that a lot of times, especially starting out in phase 1 of the MOBA where you're laning, you'll notice that like you constantly want to push to the tower. The enemy tower. It's there. It's awesome. It's filled with gold, and you want to break them because it's a win condition. But at the exact same time, doing so step by step increases your risk. So there's this constant balance between risk versus greed. That's one of our first principles that we talked a lot about when we were designing the map for Vainglory. It should also feel like that. If you are right now in Vainglory, like for example, if you go down to the enemy jungle camp that's nearest the store, when you first start the game, you might want to rob them of the enemy jungle camp near the store because you slow down their jungling route and you get gold, and that's always awesome. But that also creates risk. You're further from your safety zones. You're further, like there's a lot of this push and pull where players are constantly trying to figure out like how much risk am I willing to embrace. The 1 lane out of the 2 lane. We play tested the 2 lane, and I just felt that overall it didn't feel like you saw other players enough. It was too much map to cover, and ultimately with 1 lane we were able to capitalize and make a better. Oh my goodness!
So good game.
Oh
good
my
game,
gosh,
Sickness,
George! What has happened? We got wrecked.
I think
my
they're
God.
going and shopping at your shop just to add insult to injury. I think that's
It's okay.
what's happening right now.
We have the
Wow.
moral high ground.
Yes,
I don't know what
that's
that
right.
is, but we have it.
Yes, the moral high ground is us. Also, you know,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Good game, guys.
Oh,
good
man,
game, guys.
That was rough.
You got,
I'm sorry.
You got some bragging rights. We might have to put together a super evil crew for a future stream.
Yeah.
And get some backup for Zekent there and go back at it. But,
Yeah, that's
good game.
Next up, we have Vainglory League.
Oh, embarrassing.
And Redemption, but Redemption is not online, so he's being skipped.
Arctic Jelly.
Oh, Redemption.
All right, Arctic Jelly.
I know you were excited, Redemption. Get in the game.
Arctic
he's
Jelly
busy.
EU is also not online. Who's next?
How about Naja Snake?
Naja Snake.
Naja Snake.
Naja.
Choose from
Not
this
just
list.
Nake.
Perfect.
Not just
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Nake.
I got to give out ice.
I'll get.
Oh yeah, ice.
I got to give you guys
I'll get
ice.
Lost Number.
Ice.
Lost Number is online.
Hold on. Let's do this. Let's give you
get
all
Naja
sorts
Snake in
of
there.
ice.
Naja Snake. Naja Snake. Come on, Steve.
How about
All right.
All right, you got Lost Number and
The
Vainglory
next
League.
ice winner, according to this random Twitch add-on, is King the Don.
King the Dawn. Congrats,
King the
dude.
Don is a winner.
You're rich.
So what you want to do if you win
Oh,
is you
Nope,
want to
nope.
send
People are logging in
Vainglory
now.
a private message with your in-game name and your server region. So you can go to the Vainglory profile page on Twitch and hit the little gear icon on the right and send us a message. And that
Congrats,
is how
dude.
you can claim it. So we got 2 more. Let's do 2 more of these. The next winner is Laughing Man with 2 A's. Laughing Man is a winner. That's 1,000 ice for Laughing Man. And the third one, the final one for this match, is Negridamuzika, something like that.
What he said.
Yeah. He's
winner.
gonna put it in chat.
All right, there you go.
And you guys can
So
pronounce
again,
it.
guys, go send a message to Vainglory in Twitch with your player name, your in-game player name,
And your server.
region. And we, after this ends, I will go in
Please let
manually,
me win.
personally, and I will get you your ice. So congratulations on the ice winners for this match. If you missed any of the ice winners, we'll post in the forums a recap when all this is over. One more from Reddit that I
Yeah.
wanted to get in, because I think it's a good question. One complaint that this person has heard about Vainglory is the run speed of heroes. Feel like at the
the run
start
speed.
that they're moving through molasses,
Yeah.
and they never reach what this person would describe as a truly satisfying high speed. Can you just
Yes.
talk about like your philosophy around movement speed?
Yes. Okay.
And we got Glaive on the screen right now, which is one of those that feels like he's moving slow, even though his move speed isn't actually
He
slower
moves
than others.
deliberately.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Movement speed, not in just Vainglory, but in any MOBA, is super, super important. And I'm going to explain why in a second. So first, we knew that we were going to be making a MOBA on a touch device. And we weren't sure whether it was going to be iPad or iPhone or both or neither or what have you. So we also wanted to make sure that the world, which looks really gorgeous and lush, also could fit inside of the memory on the device without too much struggle. That means that the overall size of the world can only be but so big. If you make it too big, then it can't actually fit on the device, or you run into performance issues. So when we were designing Vainglory, we were cautious, at least conservative, around the overall size. That said, part of what makes a MOBA feel like a MOBA is when a fight emerges, how long it takes the losing team to get to safe ground. In a MOBA, safe ground are turrets. For example, if you are getting attacked by somebody, you want to run to your turret because your turret's going to protect you. And that's awesome. If you can get to a turret very quickly, then the fight can only last for a few seconds. The shorter the fight is, the less chance, A, that the person that is attacking, who you also want to compliment them, less chance of them killing their victim, but also it means in order for them to kill their victim, they have to attack using burst. They have to do it quickly, right? Because in only a few seconds they can get to a turret. So if you have a very short amount of time, wherever you happen to be on the map, if it takes a short amount of time to get from that spot to a turret, then you're actually not going to have a very tense amount of gameplay, because the chases, like right now as you're watching George play, the chases are part of what makes a MOBA feel super, super intense. And so we wanted to make sure that there was plenty of time for those team fights to feel super organic. The second thing is that we wanted to make sure the camera was close enough to our heroes that you can kind of see them, that you can see their animations, the rich, lush environment, and all the rest of that kind of stuff. But the closer you are to the heroes, that means the faster somebody is moving, the faster they appear at the edge of your screen and then get to you. And you're at the center of your screen. The amount of time it takes somebody to get from the edge of your screen to the center of your screen is the amount of time that the person at the center of the screen, you the player, can react. If they can move very quickly, they can get from the edge of your screen to you so fast that it just feels like a surprise. It doesn't feel like it was actually a tactical exchange. It feels like they just were right off screen and then they appeared right next to you and then suddenly you're dead. And that doesn't feel like a MOBA either. It feels really bad. Now, one of the things we could have done, which is a great suggestion, is like, why don't you just take the exact map that you have and make it bigger and then increase everybody's run speed, and then the amount of time it takes everybody to get everything is the exact same. So for play balance reasons, that's perfectly fine. But then the map itself is slightly larger. But in doing so, we would have not allowed Vainglory to work so well on really low-end devices, and we wanted as many people to have a chance to play it as possible. So we tried to strike a balance in the middle. And as much as I know that it seems kind of weird or frustrating, it means that at the end of the day, you get fights that really have a ebb and a flow to them. They don't just end immediately because somebody can just turn around and in 2 seconds can get back to a safe ground. Also, last thing on movement speed, which a lot of people don't think about. It's super important that people are gone when people are not are missing, like your enemy. You're in a lane and you don't see your enemy in the lane. If he's missing, you want to have a really good plausible excuse for where he could be, and the longer it takes him to go from his base back to the lane, the more time he has to go run around and be sneaky. So there's a bunch of different gameplay elements that feed into the amount of time it takes a person to get from point A to point B, and we were constantly tuning to make sure that amount of time felt very good and very immersive. So that's the long-winded answer. Sorry, but I know that a lot of people have had that question in the past, and hopefully that helps.
So what you're saying is you haven't really thought about it.
Oh yeah, we've never thought about it. we never gave it any thought. We should just totally turn it up to 11.
So I want to take a couple from the real-time Twitch chat. So Dim Celerity wants to know what the inspiration for Scarf's character was, and then a few people, including Denny S, wanted to know why the background didn't, or really, are we going to change that background image from Taka to Scarf now that Scarf's the latest hero?
Sure. So in answer to the first one, Scarf, all of our heroes come from different places. When we first started, and we were a very, very tiny company, we were only 8 people. I came up with all the ideas for the kits for the heroes, and I would sit down with Chainsaw, who's our art director, and we would figure out what the look and feel of the heroes would be. And that's usually how heroes were born back in the day. Nowadays, though, anybody that works here at Super Evil can come up with really cool hero ideas, and we'll pick the best of them, and those are the ones that we run with. Scarf himself was designed by our animator Jerome, who's Morgula. You can see him a lot on the forums, and he always thought that would be an awesome idea to have a baby dragon. I thought it was super charming. He brought the idea up with Chainsaw, and then artwork that all of us immediately fell in love with because we thought Scarf looked adorable and cute and awesome while simultaneously being super ferocious. And that's where Scarf's kit was really born, or his hero was really born, and then afterwards we figured out what his kit would be to match the hero. That's not always the way heroes come to life. Sometimes heroes start with a kit first, where we're like, oh, this kind of set of abilities and gameplay will be super, super interesting, and then we'll design a hero around that. But sometimes heroes come from the other space, where it's like, oh, look at this picture, this is amazing, let's figure out a kit that'll go with it, and both turn out okay. So that was Scarf. And then what was the other question?
Are we going to change the main menu background to have Scarf on it?
We will likely do that at some point.
One day.
At one day. We currently have the main menu set up as it is because we thought that it would be a really nice thing for, since we were so fortunate to have Vainglory be shown in the Apple television commercial. We wanted to make sure.
Commercial.
Yeah, the iPhone 6 commercial, yes. We wanted to make sure that anybody that found the game through the television commercial, when they downloaded it, would still recognize it as the same thing they saw on TV. And part of that was making sure that sort of the front menu, when you first open up the game, you're like, ah, haha, this is exactly what I saw on TV. Cool, I found Vainglory, kind of thing. And that's the only reason why. But down the road, yes, we will be changing out the background splash art for Scarf or our newest heroes.
And I've seen it, and it looks good.
And it looks
fantastic.
It looks really gorgeous.
He's so cute.
Scarf is so amazing.
A few from Hybrider in the line chat, and if you don't know what I'm talking about when I mentioned the line chat, there's a whole bunch of line chat groups for all the different regions. They fill up pretty fast because I think they're really got like a 200 player cap on them. But it's a fun way to interact with other players, and also we poke our heads in all the time and just kind of ask, what's going on for you, what's working, what's not, just to make sure we kind of have the pulse of the community. So
cow,
you can check that out.
That was a
if you want.
mistake. Oh, run! Watch the sword. Yeah! You lived! That's awesome.
Not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that was not supposed to happen.
I
but it
did
was
not
great.
think there were going to be that many people there.
So
Are you gonna afterburn in there and then like blood song?
I'm thinking about it.
So close. Sorry. Keep going, play
so
off period.
from the line chat, Hybrider has a few questions. First, how about putting a Santa hat on Kraken?
I think that was an awesome idea, and we actually we had some of the players mention that, and we were gonna do it, but then we started working on other stuff, and that ended up not making the list, which I'm super sorry about, because it was really charming. Like we super wanted to do it, and we just ended up working on other stuff for you guys that we're really excited that you're gonna love, but that one didn't make it.
And that feels like a bummer, but when you get like a new hero and update earlier than you otherwise would have,
Yeah.
I think you'll probably
I think you'll probably agree that
with the
it's going to be
trade-off.
pretty awesome to get the next guy.
A couple more
girl.
from line there.
Or
Or
it's-
animal. Right.
Need stuff to spend my ice on, and I've seen people also say this for Glory too.
Yes. So that is awesome, and first and foremost, thank you guys for anybody that ever supports us by buying ice. You cannot imagine how truly deeply grateful we super are over here. It helps us continue to make Vainglory. So giving you more things to spend your ice on, boy do we have ideas.
So many ideas.
Holy cow, do we have ideas. I don't think our problem is that we don't have great ideas that we want you to spend your ice on. It's that we can't do them all. And so we're trying to pick which ones we do first. But I know some of you guys have talked with us in the forums and online chat and on Reddit. Oh my goodness, George, run!
I'm running. I am running.
Oh no! So this is one of those examples of time to
okay.
safety, right? So even with Glaive, with both boots and an afterburn, it was still several tens of seconds before he would be able to get to safe harbor, and that made that exact chase right there super tense.
That was
Anyway.
close.
But back onto the
Ways to spend your ice in your
ways to
glory.
spend your ice and your glory. So we have a whole bunch of ideas. We're going to actually start sharing those ideas with you guys right around the start of the new year. You're going to first hear peeps about what kinds of cool stuff is going to happen through Playoff Beard at the start of the new year, and we hope you guys are going to be super excited about it. But we definitely have it on our radar, and all of you guys' suggestions are more than welcome. Throw them in the forums. We've heard them all and so forth, and we are going to try and bring you guys the best, awesomest stuff we possibly can.
So we're definitely cooking up some secret stuff we can't talk about yet in full, but keep an eye on the news section in the game. That is always where we will kind of premiere this new information, unless we're revealing it here on the live stream. But there is a lot more to come. So yeah, thank you for supporting us, and you can use your ice or glory to unlock new heroes, because we always have more heroes in various stages of development. Some are with Chainsaw and concepting, all the way up to ones that Margulia is working on the animations for and our near release. So there will always be heroes that you can unlock, but there's going to be a lot of additional uses too.
Just giving a shout out right here to my boy George. Roll 4, 0, and 3 on Glaive, representing Super Evil Megacorp. What?
After my last performance.
I know. I had to give us a little bit of shout out, since hopefully our last performance, everybody will forget that.
That never happened.
Never happened.
I want to ask one more from line, because we were just kind of talking about this recently, so I think it's pretty pertinent. Please re-roll Jewel. So,
Oh man.
so where do you feel Jewel is on kind of Jewel balance? And we fixed a bug, which was kind of like a nerf at the end of the day.
Yes.
And kind of changed some numbers at the same time.
Yes.
And so how are we feeling about where Jewel's at and what might come with Jewel?
So first, you have my sincere apologies about that because Jewel did have a couple of bugs that, in fixing, actually made her weaker, or at least it took a lot more skill to play her effectively. And you guys know, because when Jewel first came out, like, she was incredibly strong and very, 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 very strong. And then we helped correct her, and then after we corrected her, I felt like she was in a good place. But then we fixed 2 bugs that we found, and we were like, oh crap, there are 2 bugs, and we fixed them, and then that made her weaker. And then we just, in our last update, we changed the way her Thunderstrike works, so that you can target it. But overall, it seems like general consensus is that Jewel is kind of weak. So what we do on the balancing side is we're constantly playtesting internally, but we're also listening. Like, we always have our ear to the pulse of what's happening out there in terms of the games themselves. And so Jewel is definitely on sort of in my Eye of Sauron. My game designer thoughts are very closely linked to how Jewel is performing out there in the wild. And if we feel like there's going to be a really good correction that we can put out there, or a rebalance for Jewel, then we definitely will. I can't yet announce what that is, because before we do any real changes to a hero, we want to be able to playtest them and be super confident and make sure that they make the hero exactly what we think. So I can't tell you exactly what that change is going to be, though I can definitely say that we've got a couple ideas internally, and the playtesting for those ideas have already started, and we'll see what ends up coming out.
Yep. So
keep an eye out for that down the road.
But yeah, we play a ton every day here. Ton. If you're thinking Jewel feels a little weak right now, we're experiencing what you're experiencing.
Yes.
Whether we draw the same conclusions, that is actually a different story.
Always different.
Because Nito is coming at this, with a designer brain. Like in that first week, a lot of people were saying Scarf was weak, and Nito was like, give it time.
Yes.
Give it time.
Give it time.
And now at least you have 2 camps.
Yes.
Kind of a high skill camp that is really a proponent of how strong Scarf is. And then some people who are still needing to kind of figure out the kit.
Yeah.
Or genuinely think that Scarf is weak. But yeah, just know we're playing. And
we're playing, and we're always listening, and we're analyzing, and we're thinking things through. And your voices are definitely heard. And Scarf, I think, is definitely much stronger than the community first expected, which is good. Which is good. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Good.
So I'm gonna turn to a big topic now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let Rocker MJ from the forums represent this, but I think there's a ton of people, and that is. How do you plan on fixing the problem with AFK people? I've been matched in at least half my games with one AFK person. So I think that might be an extreme example, but I don't want to hide from that because people are definitely dealing with AFK. And I also think there's a bit of a misconception about like the role of karma and how karma plays into matchmaking. So if you could just talk about kind of what you're thinking about AFK.
Yeah. So matchmaking is a black art, meaning that it is a deceptively challenging thing to do very well, and it's a living product, meaning that we're going to always going to be making it ever better. So
and
every day,
guys, I'm sorry.
By the way,
good game, guys.
Did you win?
Game.
We did win.
We're gonna go
Thank
on
you, lost number at Vainglory, that you can play with me.
Boom!
And next up we have.
And so I'm gonna give away the ice while
we have Ray Orcs and Sharkcoon. Yeah. So please log on. I will invite you guys as soon as you're here.
Say the names again.
Lay Orcs and Sharkcoon. Right here. These guys.
Those folks.
Join us now.
Yeah, join on. Jump online.
All right, and so I'm going to let Nito keep talking about AFKs. First, just want to say, in case you joined us midstream, I am Playoff Beard. Hello. This is Captain Nito.
What's up, y'all?
He's our head of creative. He's the lead hero designer. and he's also one of our main engineers, so you can really ask anything in real time that you want associated with Vainglory. This is George Zekent here,
Hello.
who is a pro mobile player who's now with Super Evil, and DJ is maybe off screen, but he's grabbing questions in real time from the chat. And the kind of current question on the table is about AFKs and what we are already doing about it and what we're going to continue to do about it, because we hate AFKs and it's kind of an ongoing process.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Sharkcoon and Leorx have joined the game.
Sweet.
It's time. Who should I play next?
So I just saw somebody request in the chat room that they wanted you to play Taka.
Taka? Oh, I'm not very good at Taka, but let's do it anyway.
What could go wrong with this plan? It's going to be amazing.
Or you could just pretend we said so many.
I'll pretend I'm not a good Taka.
Yeah.
That way when I do well, it'll be a surprise, right?
That'll be awesome.
And while Nito keeps talking about AFKs, I am going to give out ice. So don't be distracted by that. We will repeat the winners. But yeah.
Okay, so AFKs, they're horrible. We know it. You guys know it. Everybody hates it. And we are constantly going to be doing everything within our power to minimize the effect that you guys feel on them. So right now, we have a system in place called Karma, and this rewards players for sticking around and finishing a fight, whether that ends in a surrender, a defeat, a victory, doesn't matter. We just want players to be committed and stick around and play the game. And if you can't, if you have to go AFK, then we want to put you with other people that are going to play that same way. So AFKers that are going to frequently go AFK often also don't tend to mind if they play with other people that go AFK. So we try to separate the two camps and ensure that if you're going to be sticking around and finishing your games, that you're going to have a very small chance of being matched with other people that are going to be going AFK. That said, we're also pretty conservative with the way that we change the matchmaker from update to update, mostly because we don't want to jerk you guys around a whole lot. And the reality is, in the past month or two, we haven't had a whole lot of time spent on looking into the matchmaker and figuring out what we can do more for AFKs. Like we definitely know we have some ideas, but we didn't have the time and the opportunity because we were doing our worldwide launch rollout. Now that the worldwide launch rollout of Vainglory has been completed, or is almost done, or is getting close to being completed, we're going to be able to turn our time and attention back to a lot of these quality of life issues, and that means that AFKers once again get the limelight, and we are going to be, little by little, especially at the start of Q1 of next year, we're going to be really ratcheting down on that kind of behavior to make sure that that doesn't happen. So first, you have my full apologies if you are a good citizen and you're getting matched with AFKers. I'm super, super sorry. And I definitely hear you. That is no fun. Stick with us. It will get better and get better very, very soon. And I promise it is a huge deal to us too. So the way that Karma works with the matchmaker right now, the matchmaker does take into account your karma score with matching with other people, and it will get only better at doing that once we head into Q1 of this coming year, because we have some really great ideas that's going to help insulate you from players that are going to be abandoning matches. And as always, as we move forward, and it's a living product, we will be listening to you guys' feedback and let us know what you guys think, and that stuff would be great.
All right, so we did the winners. The winners were in there. So Dow Jr., Gain Drugs, Shinkagen won, which is a little ridiculous. I'm going straight by the Twitch tool, so I did an extra one. So I did an extra winner. One of them flew by, so I hope someone has the list there, because I'm going to have to grab the two of them out of the chat window. Maybe DJ can grab them for me. But hopefully everyone saw the winners go by there, and we'll recap in case you missed it and post them in the forums. But yeah, so we did 4 winners this time, because Shinkagen, I don't know if that counts, so we did 4.
I think I might die to a minion.
So I just as
I'm okay.
Doing this live, because I just saw the question roll by the chat room really quickly, and it was on the topic of AFKs. Somebody was asking, and I'm sorry I missed your name. Do people that crash, are they considered AFK? I know that we have had in the past a bug that players that wouldn't get connected to a game would be considered a player that had gone AFK and so forth. And I swear to you, we will squash all of those issues. That will not be allowed to survive. For players that do crash out of the game, you're not considered AFK unless you stay out of the game. if your game crashes for any reason, all we ask that you do is just tap the icon and pop the game back open. You will be put right back into the match, and you should be on your way. If you stay out of the game, however, you will eventually be seen as AFK, and so definitely don't do that if it all can be avoided. If for some reason you do crash and you cannot get back into the game, we do have AFK forgiveness, meaning that we allow for you to go AFK like once or so, and understand that sometimes these things happen without you getting punished by losing your karma. But repeat offenders will definitely get cracked down hard, so just try to avoid going AFK a lot, and then you should be fine.
And I just wanted to add to that, because I see a lot of misconceptions.
Run, George! You lived! I lived! Congratulations.
That was stressful.
I see at least some people in the forums or elsewhere talking about and thinking that your karma score is the metric by which the matchmaker pairs you with other players.
Yeah, that is not true.
Yeah.
It is one of the things the matchmaker will think of when it's matching you with other players, but primarily you are matched with other players that are at your skill level. It's the most primary metric that we use, and then secondarily the matchmaker is going to look at several other factors, one of them being your karma, to ensure that it's going to find you people at your skill level and at your karma level to put you in a match with. But it will be both things taken into consideration. It's not purely just your karma level.
So really, it's about your elo, it's about your skill level, and then the matchmaker is going to look for the best matches it can find, and if it insta matches, it's because it found people right away. But there's a secondary characteristic where it's like, all right, I got people at the right elo, but let me check and make sure that I'm not taking good karma players and putting them with a bad karma player who AFKs, who might ruin this match.
Right.
So it's a secondary characteristic that's a safeguard that prevents you from ending up in matches with people who AFK if you are consistently finishing your matches. But the first and the primary characteristic is your skill level. It wants to have highly competitive matches that put people at similar skill levels together. So Sazuki from the forums wants to know, maybe the baby dragon belongs to a mommy dragon?
Maybe the baby dragon does. I can neither confirm nor deny that. How is that for a slippery answer?
Lumino Helix, what inspiration do you draw from when creating a hero? Not just character design, but also backstories. And what all goes into creating and balancing their attacks and just kind of the hero balancing in general?
Yeah, so there's, you can kind of think of it being a 5-headed Hydra. The elements that, and a lot of heads.
That's not a lot of many heads. Hydras have like a million heads.
That's true. Hydras do have many more. They can have much more than that. In terms of the things that I'm thinking about when creating a hero. So one of the first things is light versus dark, which is a big thing. We want to make sure Vainglory is a lot of things, and if you notice the heroes that we have in Vainglory, a lot of them are very serious and very naturally heroic. Mm-hmm. But we also have heroes that are cute or fun or lighthearted, and keeping that balance between more light heroes, what I call whimsy heroes, and dark heroes or try-hard heroes is definitely something that I'm constantly thinking through. If you tilt too much towards a dark, try-hard set of heroes, then it stops appealing to a large portion of the player base, because your game starts feeling very dark. If every hero we had was, I love him to death, but if every hero was like Krull, our game would be a very, very dark game indeed. And we want this game to have a little bit in there for everyone, while at the same time feeling like all the heroes belong in the same world. So that's one thing. The next thing is roles, which is an obvious influence on heroes. We want to make sure that all of the roles are somewhat balanced and always represented. Different players like to play different roles. We like to keep things interesting. So roles is super important. A third thing that is a influence is tropes, and trope is just like a fancy buzzword for things that people immediately recognize. And there's a lot of lore out there already that people understand dwarves and elves and you know, a knight and a dragon and a princess and a lot of things that are immediately recognizable to people and are often sometimes really, really fun for people to see recreated and reimagined in the world of Vainglory. So sometimes when we're talking about things like, for example, when you look at Taka, Taka is a ninja. And we talked with you guys in the forums, and you guys were like, it would be awesome if there was a ninja. And we were like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But we also want to make sure that if we consider a trope like a ninja, we want to make sure that the trope feels Vainglory-ish. It feels unique, that it's what a ninja
Did you say
would
Vainglory-ish instead of Vainglorious?
I said Vainglory-ish, yes. I should have said Vainglorious.
Vainglory-esque.
Both would work. Yeah, Vainglory-esque. All of those would work. And so, yeah, we really love it when we tackle a trope, reimagining it and making it ours, making it our own. Another thing that goes into where heroes come from is different play levels, or I'm sorry, skill levels. Some heroes are deliberately designed to be approachable. For example, Ringo is a hero that's very easy for other players, new players, to pick up and play. A person that's never played a MOBA before can easily understand Ringo's kit. They can understand how all of his abilities operate, whereas other heroes are a lot more complicated for some people to play. Like Adagio has a lot more nuance to him. They have to tap several times, or you have to tap the button and then tap somewhere in the ring and then target a friend to make an enemy on fire. There's a lot that goes into it. So I want to make sure that there are definitely heroes out there that are easy to pick up and play, as well as having the other end of the spectrum, the heroes that are deep, the crawls out there that are deeply grafted, that have very interesting kit mechanics that balance against each other. I think that's 4 heads, or is that 5? I feel like that's 5 heads.
If it's not, that's enough heads.
Okay, I think that's the 5 heads of the Hydra, and if I missed a head, I'm sorry.
That's good. All right, a little rapid fire from the real-time Twitch.
Real-time Twitch, hit
So,
me.
Nosy Sparks, are there any new mages coming? Warlocks.
Are there any new mages coming? Yes. Warlocks,
Damn, that
kind of,
all right.
yeah.
I was not. I said rapid fire, and then I was not prepared for rapid fire. So,
Yes.
is Vainglory fantasy or sci-fi? Some heroes seem one or the other, such as Jewel against Adagio.
Vainglory is neither, while simultaneously being both, which sounds a little bit weird and zen, but at the end of the day, Vainglory, if you were to try to pin down what genre it would fit into, it would either fit into diesel punk or sci-fantasy, which are two hybrid kinds of genres that have elements of both. So if you're familiar with things like cyberpunk can also have some fantasy elements thrown in, and you get things like Shadowrun or where you see, like, you know, elves with a computer hacking things. You have traditional steampunk, which is more like Victorian era with fantasy mixed in, and you have a lot of advanced technologies but re-implemented in a Victorian era kind of way. Diesel punk is more like World War II meets fantasy, which is kind of close to the level of technology that exists in Vainglory, though we have future tech that's implemented sometimes in more fantastical ways. So we're probably somewhere between sci-fantasy and diesel punk, if you were to try to pin us down.
Yeah. So I'm going to combine questions from Kanye West official, who I do not think is Kanye West. For the record.
Yeah, I'm going to just believe it
and
is.
if it is,
I think it is.
I apologize to Kanye West if it is Kanye West, but I'm going to assume that it's not Kanye West.
Yep.
And Nocturnal. So Kanye West wants to know, how about putting some of his songs in the game? But I think the more appropriate or the more applicable version of that is something that a bunch of players have brought up, which is like, I want to listen to my own music, Kanye West or otherwise, from Pandora or Spotify or Slacker or whatever, and play Vainglory using my headphones. Are we ever going to be able to listen to our own music?
I think it's a great idea. We have had some conversations, some fireside chats with some players that have mentioned it, and we thought it was a great idea, and so that is totally on our grocery list of awesome ideas that we want to do. It is purely a matter of time.
Metaphora, could you add a report button for AFKers at the end of the game?
Yes.
Dart Sick Dragon, do private games give you ranking? So basically, you know, we've had Glory as well as Elo, things that you could game if you were, if it existed in private matches.
No, they do not. So if you play a private match with your friends, it's purely a pickup game. It's just for fun, and you guys can do whatever you like. But it will not grant you any glory or any other kind of conferred bonuses. And a large part of that is because games that, if we were to allow that to happen, then some people would just game the system and they would just start matches and leave themselves there, or have their friends just surrender over and over and over again just to grind for getting rewards. And it wouldn't feel fair to any of the other players.
Yeah, so private matches are really for bragging rights.
Yeah.
And then they're also for like,
and they're for fun.
If you want to set up your own, tournaments or other special things, you know, you can always reach out to us. If you somehow manage to put together like this huge epic tournament, we can probably jump in there and support you with, giving you some ice to give away in the tournament or something.
Yeah, we love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Shinkagen, I think, is doing a 1v1 tournament. When is that, tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, so tomorrow on Shinkagen's stream, he's going to do some crazy 1v1 tournament, and then Pika has also called me out, like the ice bucket challenge. Like, he's called me out to play 1v1 against him, so we'll try to figure that out too. But yeah, so the private match stuff is really for bragging rights, but if you try to put together something epic using that feature, let us know and we'll try to support you. We have one from Johnny Jer, and I'm going to paraphrase this so that I can include some other people's questions. But are we ever going to have a different ELO system or ranking system, like, so that we kind of have like competitive ladders and different things that you can rank up on, or different ways to play?
Vainglory competitive is an entire conversation that I could burn everybody's time just yammering about for like the next 30 minutes and not even finish getting close to all the different ideas that we have. And the shorter answer is we have really good plans that are coming up. And we have really big conversations that are coming up around how we want to organize it, but some of those things are not yet firmly put into place. And so even if I told you the answer right now, it would still be subject to change. But ultimately, what you're thinking is very much in line with what we're thinking internally here at the Lair. We love competitive play. We know that it's frequent for these kinds of games to have ranked play, and we've talked a lot about what ranked play might look like in Vainglory. And we have a couple of really cool things that we want to bring you guys soon. But whether or not it is specifically like a different ELO or exactly how those rankings would work is still yet unannounced.
It's going to have on it. Right now, I think most players know we don't show exact ELO or player skill scores, but you can get an idea by looking on your profile page. You'll see like decent-ish or the hotness, and that tells you your ELO bracket, right? And that's kind of the very, very, very earliest stages, and that is going to be expanded, and there are going to be a lot of things going on so that you feel like as you're playing a lot that it's really meaningful over the long haul. So kind of what we tend to say is like, we know there's a lot more we can still do, and we're going to keep working as hard and as fast as we can on that. But it's going to happen step by step, kind of inch by inch, from update to update. And each update, it's going to get a little better, and sometimes in big leaps and sometimes in little baby steps. But if you stick with us, you're going to see these kinds of things.
Yes.
So Black Void wants to know about bots. We see a glaive bot is in the kind of early kind of practice thing, but then we haven't seen anything else about bots.
Yeah. We've definitely heard a lot of players have strong interest in bots, and we do too. We think bots can be a lot of fun. And we wanted to make sure that we do bots correctly. You've seen that we actually have some tech for bots in the works, as if you ever played the tutorial and you've seen the glaive bot running around, he is powered by some of our bot technology. And we have talks about specifically how we would like to roll out bot play, but a lot of this stuff is still sort of in its formative stages, and we aren't quite ready yet to bring you bots the way that they were meant to be. So until we feel like the bots are kind of like up to the play experience that we would want to provide you guys, we're still holding on to them for a little while longer.
All right, that's bots. So Naughty Geezer, that's a weird name, And then there's a bunch of other players who have said, like, is there going to be a special holiday update or like snowfall on the Halcyon folder or anything else like that?
We did have really good plans for stuff like that, where we were going to do a big holiday update. Ultimately, we felt it was best not to do a dramatic revisualization for the holiday update this year, purely because we had gotten such love from Apple, and we wanted to make sure that people recognize the game from the Apple commercial. We mentioned this a little bit earlier when we were talking about why the Talk It splash art has stayed where it is. And that is the only reason why some of those things that we know would have been fun for you guys and would have been awesome for us to bring you guys, why those things didn't actually happen for this Christmas. That said, we may have a Christmas update coming out, to which I'm hoping you guys will be very excited with.
Or Hanukkah update.
With it, or Hanukkah, or however things roll. Kwanzaa. It's totally Kwanzaa. But I will just make sure you guys have your expectations set ahead of time. We're not going to be able to do a dramatic revisualization purely because we want to support the Apple commercial.
Well, so really the reality is like we're excited that we just announced the game coming in a fully translated localized way to Korea and Japan, and so we're still kind of at a stage where a lot of new players are finding the game, and if they kind of walk in on day one and there's a whole bunch of stuff different, it's going to be really hard for those players to orient themselves to the natural experience. So kind of the best thing that I can say is that if you stick around for the long haul, you're going to get all of that kind of stuff that's going to be really fun. But we have to keep a little bit of one eye right now on the fact that the game is still brand new and we're still welcoming first-time players into the experience. And that we have to look out for them at the same time, but that once we kind of clear this phase where the game is out and it's fully established, then we'll definitely be excited to play around with that kind of stuff. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
So Pyro Guy and a bunch of other people have brought up like pings and like on the iPhone you ping when you leave the shop, and just kind of like a little bit of additional optimization that could happen there.
Yeah, and we know about those issues, and I'm so sorry for them. I know it's annoying because you're in the shop and you're just buying yourself a Halcyon potion, you tap outside of the shop, and next thing you know you're pinging, and your friends are like, "That's silly. Why would we want to go off of the map over the cliff?" And you're just like, "I didn't mean to ping there, man." And that's just purely a bug, and we plan to have that fixed for you guys pretty soon. The other thing is talking about pings in general, and how the ping systems work. Right now, we've been pretty happy with how pings in the game have been working out for people. They seem to be pretty useful. We also have some great ideas as we start talking a lot more with you guys in the community about how social will evolve and grow in Vainglory in the next coming months. It's likely that those areas are also going to see a lot more love and could turn out to be dramatically different.
And so a few people have also brought up, like, will they ever be able to move around the UI elements, like customize them, like if they want the ability tray on the left side of the screen or something like that? Yeah,
I wouldn't say no to that. It's likely not something that's going to happen in the very near term, but it's a great idea. And if given the opportunity, I would be perfectly fine with giving them the chance to do so.
So Z Kent is 11-0 in Forest Taka after giving us the preamble.
I was just noticing that.
Not being good with Taka. Z Kent, can you talk to us for a couple minutes, just like what you're thinking, like what you're trying to do in this game, how you're trying to build them, like why you went Tension Bow and 2 Tyrant's Monocles,
so,
it looks like?
This game I wanted to go for a lot of crit because Taka's perk gives him advantages when he crits someone. I want to run fast the whole time. And I have no idea how to build him, so I kind of followed my Ringo build, which is Tension Bow and 2 Tyrant's Monocles. So I'm like, sure, why not? And I seem to have made a mistake because my entire team is going red and their entire team is going blue. But that's okay. Red versus blue.
Yes.
So why that's a mistake, for anyone who doesn't immediately recognize that, if your whole team builds red, builds weapon, or your whole team builds blue, builds crystal, it makes it really easy for the other team to counter build, to build shielding yellow if they see blue, and build armor, which is kind of brownish gold, if they see red. Ideally, you always want to have a variety on your team so that the enemy team has to make choices. Has to be like, all right, well, we kind of want shield because there's that burst dude, the burst Kashka in there, but then like we're going to get destroyed by the weapon pedal, right? Like that's the kind of thinking you want your enemy doing and not making it too easy for them to counter build. Yeah. So
yeah, and in specific to the people that are currently playing against him, if you want to kill him, or at least he finally died, so if you want to kill him more, then yeah, you likely want to, at this point, be investing a little bit more into defensive items, especially Taka. Taka is really awesome at initiating and having really good burst for the first 3 or 4 seconds that he's fighting you. But that tends to fall off fairly dramatically, and it falls off more because he's so fragile. So if you can possibly get enough defense to sort of outlive Taka's initial burst by getting a metal jacket and a crucible or some combination thereof, Taka becomes very easy to handle. I don't know if I would ever say Taka is ever easy to handle, but he becomes significantly more manageable, and you won't find yourself getting blown up by him just by surprise.
And I kind of feel like you're channeling your inner surprise birthday with that, because like something that I've heard him say a number of times is like, people will get hit with that tension bow, that first shot, and they will run because they just took a bunch of damage. When in a lot of situations, the best thing you can do is go
stand and fight against the person that just hit you with a tension bow. It depends on what they've built, because if they have, a couple Sara blades under their belt to follow up behind that tension bow, it's not going to matter if you stand and fight. But just keep in mind, part of what makes tension bow so effective is that it's psychological. When you get hit with it, it's an unexpected, overwhelming amount of damage, and it causes your enemies, if you have tension bow, to question whether they really want to stick around, and that might turn a fight that they could have won into one in which they run, and you may even be able to kill them as they do so. So you have to play the psychological game if you're playing against somebody that has a tension bow, and just understand that the damage that they're going to do is only going to happen once every 6 seconds.
It's going to happen up front, and then you can get your shots in if you stick around.
Yes.
So for those who have kind of joined us late, we talked about Scarf in the beginning. I'm going to ask another kind of related Scarf question, so you have a chance to revisit it, but answer it specifically. So Ordiforo from the forums wants to know if we're thinking about any changes to the max health damage that's related to the heroic perk, and kind of how that works. Is it true damage? Is it crystal damage? Yeah, so for people that don't know, Scarf's abilities set you on fire. And this burn deals 3% of your max health back to the target as crystal damage. Scarf's burn is part of what makes him so awesome, because it is super effective against even tanks, because they're often high health targets, which means that they're going to take more damage. And it's super effective because you can fan the flames and make it even worse for people. Every time you hit somebody with a basic attack that is suffering from burn, you refresh the duration of burn, number one, and number two, you also make the burn like 3% hotter every time you basic attack, and that can stack up to 3 times. So the first time that you burn them, it's doing 3% per second. Then if you basic attack them, it turns to 6% per second. And if you basic attack them again, it turns to 9% per second, which can really, really hurt. So in terms of what kind of damage it is specifically, it is crystal damage. If you are going up against a Scarf, it is super effective to get shielding, especially if he's using Fan the Flames and his perk to really gouge you with the burn. And if you are playing as a Scarf, it can sometimes be very effective to buy Broken Myth. Actually, I've been playing a lot of Scarf on live, and Scarf can be built a variety of ways, but I almost always find that a little bit of attack speed, purely to help out with Fan the Flames, can be a lot of fun. I've actually started a couple times, if I'm feeling roguish, I will buy the first attack speed item as my starting item and invade their jungle, because if you can just that quickly get the burn up to 9% with your basic attacks,
you can very easily get early game kills with Scarf. He can get them faster than I think any other hero, including Taka. I would definitely say, though, that it does not become as effective late game. So don't rely on late game damage coming from Fan the Flames. Like, it's going to be in there, but by that point, people will have plenty of defense against it, and they're going to be less, I guess, melty to your burn. So towards late game, I actually pivot the way that I play Scarf. And while I start off with a little bit of attack speed and really complementing Fan the Flames at the start of the game, by late game, I'm doing a lot of my effectiveness from either utility with Scarf or raw crystal damage by getting things like Shatter Glass, Broken Myth. Aftershock can sometimes be really fun on Scarf just because you're casting abilities so much. I really do love cooldown acceleration on Scarf.
And real quick, as this
really
game
well.
ends...
By the way...
Yeah.
That went well.
GG, guys.
That went well.
That went really well. Success!
So while...
All right, next up, we have Forte and Cookie Monster. So make sure you're on.
Get in the game.
Get in the game.
Get in the game.
So real quick, guys, you just played with Taka, and Sketch is asking, Weapon Taka or Crystal Taka?
There's like a second game of Taka, and I went Weapon, so Weapon Taka. But I'm sure Stefan has more to say about that.
I mean, Taka works really, really well either way. I have played plenty of Crystal Taka and plenty of Weapon Taka. I tend to go towards a Weapon Taka because it's a little bit easier. He doesn't fight his energy costs in the early game, and so it's a little bit easier to get him up and running.
Neither of them
But
are.
Crystal Taka, his burst is just so good. It's so good.
All right, so the first ice winner for this post-match round, there are going to be 3 randomly selected winners with this Twitch add-on, is Captain Glitz.
Hooray, is still on.
So Captain Glitz is a winner of 1,000 ice. I'm going to put it in the stream.
The max player. Nope.
The second winner
Dante kills. Nope.
Man, Age of Power.
is...
Age of Power. Nope.
These are the
Oh, you won already, so I got to pick another
Alright,
person.
I'll
would say
just
random.
invite.
Vingnesh 103 is a winner.
Well, the 2 of them weren't on, so I'm going to invite someone random from my friends list. Let's pick this guy. Snuck.
And the third winner,
Snuck. You haven't invited. Join us.
Pookchers. Pookchers is a winner. So if you won, you want to send a private message to Vainglory on Twitch. Just go to Vainglory/profile, I think. Click on Vainglory, essentially, and click on the little gear icon and do message, and send us a message that's got your server region and your in-game player name, and as soon as the stream ends, I will give you your 1,000 ice. So this time it was Captain Glitz, Vignesh 103, and Pookchers, and we will post all the winners in the forums after this in case you missed anybody. So those are the winners for this match.
Haha.
And I guess Captain Neo is going to play a little bit.
I'm going to play a little bit for George, and I'm going to start off playing Scarf the way that I play Scarf, which is hopefully if you guys are listening to me, and hopefully our enemies are not listening to me, let's do a very quick level 1 invade on the enemy jungle.
And that's because Scarf is super, super good.
Because
level
again, yeah, if you especially if you guys coordinate and complement the Scarf, and all 3 start off in the jungle together, you can very easily get Scarf some early game kills. His Fan the Flames perk is just so good. And if you also notice, I took the attack speed item to start off with, but it doesn't seem like Saw is going to come with me. So I'm just going to lurk here and see whether or not the enemy players are going to come to try and take our jungle. And if they do, then I'm going to try to set them on fire. I don't see them, so I'm going to go sneak over here and see. There's a guy.
So there's Jewel. This is a good matchup, level 1 for sure. And Jewel, if the Jewel's smart, she'll use her leap now to get out of here before she takes too much flame damage.
Oh, and I missed. And
Kill?
Wait.
That's a level 1 kill.
So this is
Yeah.
so what you just saw is playing to Scarf's strength. He Fan the Flames, especially early game, is very dangerous if you're playing against a Scarf. Play conservative. Don't invade the Scarf's jungle. If he finds you, he will murder you. It will hurt. And then if you are playing with a Scarf on your team, 3-man invade their jungle, especially early on. You can get some early jungle dominance with Scarf. It's one of the best ways of complementing him as a hero. Now Scarf is that early Fan the Flames domination is going to peter out around level 3 or 4. Like it's going to just become even. He's going to have to start working a little bit harder, especially with the basic attacks, in order to keep that kind of damage going. But if you can get those early game advantages in both gold and jungle dominance, you guys really can start snowballing early.
Yeah, Scarf is really good at cleaning jungle early on. You just have to make sure you're hitting both targets. Like if there's a double camp, you have to make sure you're hitting both targets with your auto attack to make sure your Fan of Flames passive is taking effect on everything.
Yep.
All right, let's do a quick real-time word association. So put a single word related to Vainglory in the chat, and we're going to see what Captain Nito says about it. So,
okay.
So the first one from Aguilar Mech is skins.
Oh, and I just say whatever I want?
Whatever comes to mind when we say skins.
Love them.
Right. That's going to be like half responsive.
They're going to be like, I wanted more on that. But no, you're
okay,
right.
I can tell you more. My entire body is covered with it. I think it's amazing.
Excellent.
All right, cooperation.
I think is vital to any real legitimate MOBA. At some level, it is both a one-player versus enemy team as well as multiple players working together.
OP.
Yeah, OP can happen. I don't feel like we have any heroes that I would legitimately claim are OP. I think almost every hero that we have in our game that could be situationally OP is also counterable.
Snowballing.
Yeah, snowballing is not always fun in a MOBA because it makes the team that's losing super frustrated. I would rather a MOBA match actually end quickly than to drag out and force a team that's losing to have to just stick it out or wait until they can surrender. There are ways in Vainglory to snowball, but because, again, keep in mind, our defensive items are very cost-effective currently, that it is very easy to turn a game that you think is going to be a loss into a win if you buy smart. You just want to start investing in that defense, stop giving them the kills, and you can eventually turn the game around and at least give them a good run for their money.
Lightning.
Hasn't struck me, of which I'm very grateful. Also, I think if you're hinting at lightning someplace, yeah, also a cable that George is using for his iPhone. If you're hinting at lightning in the game, I might say that might be something we've thought of too.
Fluffy Turbo says clans or guilds.
Oh, this guy's dead.
Yes to all of that. We haven't yet announced exactly what kinds of good stuff you guys are going to think of, but we love that stuff too, and you can bet that if it's something we love, we've been thinking about it.
Kraken.
Doesn't have a Santa hat. It's also a she, and I think rumor has it that both her and Scarf speak very close to the same kind of Dragonlish language.
Really?
Yes. That is a small bit of trivia. It is plausible that Scarf would be able to, in a very limited way, communicate with her.
Is that like undue advantage?
Not really. Seeing as though the Kraken, she doesn't seem to care much about being sociable with anyone, so it probably won't help a Scarf, but you know, if you're curious about the lore, Scarf is capable of being able to communicate with her.
So Kraken is antisocial.
Yes, DJ very much is.
DJ, you got to find the link to that video and put it in there of those people who made that really funny one that we were watching. That's got like you know what I'm talking about. The link, you find it. It's a good Vainglory video. Christina Aguilera is very Vainglory related.
Oh, Christina X, isn't it? Isn't it X-Tina? X-Tina. That's all I know about her. Oh, she also used to be on that TV show The Voice, and she used to make pop songs.
Excellent.
How did I
relate this to Vainglory?
And if Christina Aguilera were a hero, she would probably be look like Adagio.
I know. I'm going to apologize now because I don't know what that means or where that came from. Sorrowblade.
Sorrowblade is awesome. But I think that Sorrowblade versus Tinchenbow is a very interesting decision players have to make early on. Tinchenbow will give you mid-game burst and a lot of psychological dominance, but it does not scale very well towards late game. And you get the kill!
Kill though.
Nice!
It was worth it, and we got the tower.
Worth.
So much worth.
But if you invest instead to your Sorrowblade, it's probably long game, much more cost effective for you to go Sorrowblade than a Tinchenbow. It depends on whether or not you want to invest in one versus the other. Other thing to note about Sorrowblade, its inventory space is part of its cost. So it is actually more cost effective during mid game to leave the Sorrowblade broken up into its 2 component pieces and then finish it at your leisure later than it is to rush all the way to the end piece by the sort of the mid to early game phase. You can actually just save the amount that you're paying on the cost and spend it towards other items.
And I know you wanted to say congratulations to Craig Wayne Boyd, the winner of the Voice this year.
Oh, I did not know that. But yes, congratulations, Craig. Hopefully you play Vainglory. And George, I can't believe you died. Yes. One thing to note, especially as you're watching George play, that I do a lot of times with Scarf. Scarf will not make it towards in-game play and remain effective with his ultimate without some thought towards defense. So here's the Captain Nito strategy for how you play defensively with Scarf. Look at your teammates. If your teammates have Disrupt and Peel, meaning if you have a Glaive, a Catherine, somebody that can body block for you, then you can get away with only devoting 1 of your 6 slots to a defensive item. If you are on a team that has none of them, you can devote up to 3 of your inventory slots towards defensive item and still have a very effective Scarf. It means that offensive items are only going to be half of your inventory space, but it will also mean that you are going to be able to remain very effective and they're not going to be able to take you down.
Turtles.
Turtles, it kind of looks like the back of the Kraken. Her back looks turtle-like.
Maps. And there's a lot of questions about, are we getting more maps?
I definitely wouldn't put it outside of the realm of possibility down the road. But we're very cautious about making maps because it's really easy for maps to be unbalanced and unfun. And here's the other thing that a lot of people don't think about with maps. If you have a lot of maps out there, you end up splitting your player base and making it harder for people to get matches. And that's because if somebody logs onto Vainglory, one person may want to play map A, and somebody else might want to play map B, and now neither of them want to play in a game together. So just in terms of like the game design side of things, it's very important for us to be very cautious, especially early on with things like maps, because it will actually make it significantly harder and much more frustrating for our players to be able to play.
Surrender.
Never do it. I'm just kidding. Do it at the moment that you feel you would like to. Otherwise, I think surrender is super important because it allows players that are frustrated to move on to a game that they think is a lot of fun and not have to stay in a game that they're frustrated with.
I've also seen
I totally think it's okay.
I've also seen questions about like, what's the right number of players that should be required for surrender?
We've gone back and forth on that one, and we explored that actually with you guys in the community when we first implemented the feature. The short answer is surrender. It seemed like at first that it would be better for everyone involved if it didn't require unanimous vote, but it's actually far more frustrating for players that want to stick into a game to constantly end up being in a match where their teammates surrender than it is for people to try to stick it out. If a game really isn't going well, then the 3 people can totally leave. But some of the greatest moments in Vainglory do happen when people actually stick it out, and it turns out that, holy crap, against all odds, we turned the tides and we won. And we have so many really funny anecdotes that are shared with us on the forums and line chat where people did that. It's hilarious. So, you know, I would say use it at your discretion, but overall, I think surrender feels much better for players when all of them feel like they're committed to doing it. And
remember that, you know, we see a lot of surrenders post-Kraken. Remember that if you take the Kraken down, your team is getting a ton of gold out of that the other team isn't. And there's even some cases where if you take the Kraken too early or not really at the right moment, you could end up giving the other team kind of the gold they need to buy the items that will help them turn around the match.
Yes.
So don't always think that Kraken equals defeat or Kraken equals surrender. Sometimes if you can focus the Kraken down, it can be the kind of gateway to your comeback.
Yes. By the way, if you guys just saw that awesome scarf kill that George just did, that is a perfect way of fanning the flames. Now he's going to be in a little bit more trouble.
I'll be okay.
I'll be a little aggro from the gold miner. The gold miner did a number on here.
Oh! That Frostbird! Right! It's so close!
There's some move speed on the B there.
Yeah.
Adagio.
So Adagio is awesome and super versatile. He's one of our most versatile heroes. He can adopt almost any role and is a lot of fun to play. Adagio also is a support carry, which is kind of a unique kind of hybrid role that originally when I was thinking up his kit, I deliberately was trying to design him around a hero that would feel like a support, but under the right circumstances could kind of elevate himself to the status of a carry before going back to being a support, and Adagio kind of felt that way. There may be other kits in that also fit that role of like a support carry down the road, but I think Adagio is a lot of fun.
Koshka.
She's awesome. Koshka is in terms of game design too, she's one of the characters that I am really pleased has a lot of personality, and I think that personality is so important for heroes to feel good, and I think that her personality really shone through. It's one of the things that she does really well. Oh no! The plane, run now! Oh my God! Did you get him?
Well,
yeah!
Cool, got him.
Yeah, and now he's gonna die.
No, he's okay.
No, he's got this.
He's okay.
Nice, Snock.
Oh no. Sad times.
I'm so sorry, Snock. We'll put flowers on your grave.
So the last one is kind of like avatars, emblems, those kinds of things.
Yes. Player expression is another thing we're super a fan of. I can't, again, tell you now what we're going to do to save my shins from kicks, but we think it's a great idea. We like it as much as you guys do, which always means
it'll happen.
That it'll probably happen in some form or fashion down the road.
So we have, I just lost the player name, I'm sorry, but some questions on Fan the Flames, how it works, how it, is this Fan the Flames? Oh, it is Fan the Flames. I thought it was a question about the ultimate. But for Fan the Flames, does it scale with crystal power, how that works? But what I meant to ask, so please answer that too, is about the ultimate and how that scales and the ticks of damage it does and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Fan the Flames, again, when somebody is burning and Scarf does his basic attack on them, it refreshes the burn and makes it hotter. And that can stack up to 3 times. So when you're fanning the flames, you're basically kiting a player that's on fire and you're kind of walking with them and you're basic attacking them as they're trying to run to constantly keep that fire burning and making it hotter and hotter and hotter. So to get technical, it deals 3% of the max health of the hero back to them as crystal damage. So it is a crystal damage dealing perk, but it does not have a crystal ratio, so it does not scale with crystal. That is both good and bad. That means that if you're playing a crystal scarf, fanning the flames towards late game is not going to get stronger. It's going to, unless you're getting something like a crystal pierce, like from Broken Myth, you're not going to see the amount of damage that you're going to be able to make it do go up. But it also means that it opens up a viability for there to be weapon scarves, because again, keep in mind, it doesn't scale with your crystal. So if you must with Scarf, if you have to buy defense or if you have to buy utility with Scarf or any of those other kind of things, you can do so with confidence in knowing that your perk, at the very least, will always remain effective. So it's both a trade-off. It's both good and bad. I've seen some weapon scarves in the past. I invite you guys to play them. I think it's more fun to let you guys figure out what's viable in weapon scarf or not. But it can actually be. Oh my god! So deep. Oh! Okay, this is gonna be clutch. Not worth it all.
I'm out of mana.
Yeah, throw that thing in front of him.
I'm out of mana.
You're out of mana. You're not going to be able to live this one. I don't feel like, because Adagio is going to come along.
Wait, Adagio's not here.
He's not there. Oh my God! Remember earlier when we were talking about chases and how long it takes people to get from danger to safe ground? This is why it's hilarious.
So if you joined us late, this is Captain.
Yeah! Oh my God!
This
yes!
is
so good.
Get out! Oh, he.
Oh, he did.
But
Saw is holding it down.
So we got a kill.
So this is Z Kent playing, former support for Team Curse, professional mobile player.
So good.
This is Captain Nito talking. He is our lead hero designer. He is our fearless creative leader for all of creative.
I like how you made up that title. I don't even think that's a real title.
Co-founder of Super Evil. He is a lifelong fan of Christina Aguilera.
Love her.
and DJ is with us
Underrated.
behind the scenes, making sure to get some more of those Twitch questions in my spreadsheet here. So getting back, so one from the forums, Corned Beef wants to know if Scarf's name was inspired by a certain fashion accessory sported at a certain Apple keynote.
Nope.
Oh, wow. There was a keynote?
When that
Oh
happened.
man, that had some kind of accessory. Did you guys hear about this at all?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We totally did not hear about that, nor if we had heard of that, would we ever have named a hero after that. That is crazy. What could possibly have gone into our heads?
Or crazy true.
Or possibly crazy true.
So there's now 2 heroes named after Tommy.
This is true.
I know, and I have 0.
And we're pretty sure that Adagio is Tommy.
Yeah, Adagio looks like Tommy.
And one named after Taka.
And one named after Taka. In case you guys
Member
don't know,
of our team.
Kind Coffee, one of our amazing QA guys, he has a hero named after him, Taka.
And he won in the Twitch. He won the
won the
ice
Twitch
in the
ice.
Twitch. So I skipped
Like,
it
I don't even...
because that's not
I think you
not
should
a thing.
you should give him something.
Give him a little bit
Give
of
him like
ice.
a little bit of
We'll
chocolate
give
or
him a
something.
Starbucks
Well, yeah, we'll
gift card
give
or
him a Hershey's
or
Kiss.
Phil's gift card.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, some
Okay.
coffee.
Oh boy.
So
Bring it
Veratron
on.
wants to know
Oh,
if
I'm
you
so
could
dead.
have any one of your heroes as
You
a
had it
minute.
until the Adagio.
Yep.
If you could have any one of your heroes as a miniature pet, which would it be?
As a miniature pet, Saw.
Good
I
one.
mean,
You gotta expand on that.
I mean, so first, I think everybody knows that Saw is, he looks like he would be housebroken, which is important in a pet. You want a pet that you feel like they're going to know where to go to the bathroom effectively. And, you know, you don't have to worry about you coming home and finding out that, oh my goodness, Saw got out and somehow got hurt, because, you know, Saw has a minigun. So he's going to ruffle stomp any of the other pets in the neighborhood if you were to be running around. I mean, just in every possible way, it's only a win. Nobody's going to mess with you when you take him for a walk. That's true, you will get sued when he burns down an entire town. But, I mean, aside from that, I got to say, pretty effective as far as pets go.
All right.
I'm sticking with it.
So, Adelbad Blag, I don't know how to pronounce that, from the forums wants to know, so he wants to know about the Evil Engine. He's like, that's used in Vainglory, right? Like it's a proprietary engine, and are there going to be any other games with the Evil Engine?
So the Evil Engine, man. I'm sad that the Real Crawl isn't here to talk about it because his eyes light up. When Tommy and I first started Super Evil Megacorp, because we were both programmers, and Tommy had been programming at Sony. He came from Guerrilla Games, the company that makes Killzone 2, Killzone 3, etc. And he had worked on a lot of their engine technology there. He had already been working on the Evil Engine when he and I met for several years. It had been sort of like his pet project. And after he and I had been talking quite a bit about potentially starting Super Evil and trying to do our own game thing, we both knew we wanted to have our own engine for it, and we knew that we wanted to turn the Evil Engine into the backbone of Super Evil. And there is nothing wrong with using proprietary off-the-shelf engines. They're awesome, especially for people learning or starting out. It's really, really great. By the way, awesome fanning that flame. That poor guy couldn't get away.
Fan them flames.
Fanning them flames. That is the theme with Scarf, by the way. If you want to try them, fan those flames. But we really like the opportunity to push the envelope of what is possible and expected on devices. And that's what making your own engine does. It gives you the ability to be different. It gives you the ability to control your destiny. It gives you the ability to create features that other engines don't have. And it also takes tens of years of work to become a really solid engine developer. But it's a path, it's a road that I would highly encourage any of the aspiring students out there to really dig into, because you know, don't let anybody tell you that their engine has to be the last engine that games are developed on. Engines are great and they're a lot of fun, and if you get the chance to develop one, I would highly encourage it. So yes, that turned into Evil Engine. That is what powers Vainglory. It is part of the reason why Vainglory looks gorgeous and as amazing as it does. I will give Tommy all of that credit. Tommy is a very, very good engine programmer. If you know the kind of pedigree of Killzone 2, Killzone 3, you know what those games are graphically capable of. It's a game development house that prides themselves on being very graphically capable, and a lot of that expertise is what Tommy brought to the table over here. We have big plans for making all sorts of games down the road with it, because it's capable of quite a lot. Quite a lot.
2 questions from Facebook. Mohammed wants to know, will there be a monkey hero?
Will there be a monkey hero? So, I have heard that people are super keen on a monkey hero.
This is true.
And this has been mentioned in several Twitch chat opportunities. And I will say this. I also like monkey heroes. I cannot confirm or deny if we will ever have a monkey hero, but I can also say, you know that we like doing the things we like, so I will give it a strong maybe.
on a much more serious note.
And congratulations! Boom! And I just pointing that out, an 1158 scarf with Zakint. And can you flash the details really quick? Let's take a look at the items. How did he do it? That was rushing first, Frostburn. And then boots, I'm imagining was second, and then you shatterglassed it, and then you did the reflex block?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Wait, Fury, stop by. Come on camera, Fury.
Yeah, buddy.
Hold up.
Fury.
You recognize him
right
as
awesome.
the person who we trolled in the Dev Welcome video. This is Fury.
Hey,
one of the best players we have.
Yep.
What's up,
guys?
What's up? Yep.
How'd the games go?
Are you going to play one more since we started kind of messing
Sure,
up?
why not?
All right.
We're going to do one more.
We'll do more ice.
Let
Yep.
them play.
Let them play.
A much more serious question from Facebook. Fabio wants to know, can you please give us a penguin hero? Everyone loves penguins.
So that is a really interesting idea. And I will promise you this, I will think about it. I will think about it because penguins are adorable.
A bunch of people have brought up scarf and pedal plushies and kind of t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. Fury, what is the deal with that? He's coming back.
He was running.
He tried to leave. I'm going to do ice while Fury talks about that.
Scarf plushies, huh?
Yeah.
That is a good idea. We should consider doing that.
I would buy one. Questions.
Would you buy one?
I would buy one.
All right,
I also would.
All right, we got
buy
Kamil
one.
and Rap310.
All right,
here we go.
I'm about to do 3 more ice winners. If you are asking or wondering, the way that you win ice is watch the stream, make sure you're following the channel, and then we have a Twitch add-on. I just push the button and it picks someone who is a follower who is watching the stream. We pick 3 people after each match who are the random lucky winners of 1,000 ice each. So, you know, depending on the number of viewers at the moment is kind of what your odds are. Hope you're having fun watching, and the ice is kind of an extra bonus for those lucky few who get picked.
Indeed.
So I'm going to pick 3 now. If you win, click on Vainglory, go to the Vainglory profile on Twitch, and use the little gear thing to select message and send us a private message with your in-game player name and your server region, and after this stream is over, I will add your ice. All right, first ice winner is MusicCore1. Wins 1,000 ice. Make sure I get these names written down so that I don't forget to get you your stuff. The next winner is Cocktook87 is a winner. And the third winner of this match is Supa Necro. is a winner. So these are the 3 winners for this match. I'll recap it in here right now. If you won, then send us a private message with your player name and your server region. If you aren't sure if you won because you joined us late, you got off work, you got out of class, we'll post the winners on the forums. I did fail to write down 2 people, so there's going to be someone smarter than me who's from the very first match is going to have those extra people, but you hopefully know who you are and we'll track you down, or else we'll give away some extra ice next time. So those are the winners for this match. Again, those are the recap of the winners for this match. So we're back in. We got Z-Kent playing Saw this time. George, can you talk a little bit about Saw? It's like he's super powerful if you play him well. Oh. If you fall into kind of the trap of
1 second dying,
being slowed at the
Please
wrong time.
Like right now.
I got him.
Nice. Yeah.
Turn in a kill.
Nice.
So normally we hear a ton from Z-Kent during the live stream, but we've had Nito as a special guest. But I want to hear a little bit from
Actually,
Z-Kent.
we should totally let George talk from here. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take my leave because we have a guest here, and I'm supposed to be talking with him.
I was going to gracefully exit you, but
oh no, I tend to be just really honest. We have a guest, and I got to go give them a bro hug.
So thank you so much for joining us. People who are watching, like, tell us if this was a good idea or a bad idea.
Yeah, totally tell us that. Like, did you guys enjoy these kind of conversations? I can totally come back and we can have more sort of fireside chats. Give us advice or things that you would like to see different. All that is perfectly welcome. And again, thank you guys so much for the questions, and hopefully my answers didn't sound stupid. like not too stupid.
All right, so guys, when it comes to the new heroes who are coming, when it comes to new features that are coming, you're in really good hands with Captain Nito. I hope you enjoyed hearing from him a little bit.
Yeah, guys.
He's going to go back to doing things that put
I'm gonna go back to doing
in the game for you.
Put more things in the games for people. Yep. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And George, good luck.
Do it proud. So I'm playing Saw, and Saw is super positioning based. Like, if you can keep yourself safe in fights or use reflex blocks at the right time, he can output a ridiculous amount of damage. But if you can't, he's a little bit not so good, because he will die pretty quickly if people can jump on him, or if he gets stunned out of his spin up. So you have to make sure that when you play Saw, you really have to focus on making sure you don't get stunned, make sure that people can't really like stop you, can't get close enough to use Atlas Pauldrons, and that you don't get killed by assassins. Because if Taka jumps on you, you're probably going to die early game, but late game you can actually stand and fight. So you actually really have to know how strong you are and when you're really strong. Because like right now, I don't have that many items, so if anyone jumps on me, I'm probably not going to be able to fight them that easily. But come late game, even if they jump on me first, even if they get like a tension bow proc off, I'm going to stand on the ground and fight.
Yeah, so I just want to add, so we're thinking about doing more of this kind of thing. Like, would you want us to do this with Surprise Birthday, who is constantly evaluating the state of our items? And like, if you have really nuanced questions, or you don't understand how cooldown acceleration is different than cooldown reduction, or what items stack and to what effectiveness, like, would you want us to do one of these kind of Q&As with Surprise Birthday, really focused on the items and item builds and that kind of stuff? Let us know in the forums, let us know in Twitch, or really anywhere you can find us, if you want to see more of this. Or, we're definitely going to be doing tons of more streams where Z-Kent is just walking you through the kind of play decisions that made him, a world-class MOBA pro. So let us know what you like and what you'd like to see more of. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of it, we're going to let Z-Kent kind of do his thing and talk through this match. He's already 2-0-1. Saw is kind of one of the most powerful heroes, but can be one of the most difficult to play well and not get caught and slowed and get caught out. So yeah, walk us through this match.
All right, sounds good. Right now, there's 2 people in lane. There's a Saw and a Scar, so I have to play pretty safe. I can't push that too far, or I am prone to getting ganked by their Catherine, who, if you get the stun on me, I'm probably going to die because they have some pretty high damage on me. So right now, I'm just focused on farming, making sure I get enough gold for late game, and I'm pretty safe right now. Like, okay, their Saw's cane is at the bottom. I can make it a 2v3 real fast if I make it here. So I'm going to slow the Catherine real quick. I'm actually not sure I should be here, but let's see if I can take her out, and I cannot. Actually, maybe. She's really close to dead, but she's... Okay, there we go. Okay, we're probably gonna need to get out of this fight because I don't think we're gonna win. So I'm just gonna run. Taka came back in. Taka, you're crazy. Taka, no. Taka. Oh no. I cannot save you, friends. I'm sorry. Oh. This guy, though. Oh! Barely missed a kill. I should be able to beat this Saw actually in a one-on-one. Oh shoot. If he has his suppressing fire, I am going to not die because Catherine came to save me, so that's awesome. But yeah, also just a few quick announcements. Our Japanese and Korean servers are coming online really soon, so if you're in those regions, something to be excited about. Also, we have a Reddit snoo contest, so the little alien thing on our subreddit. If you're an artist or you just want to make something awesome, we're going to be posting a link for that on Monday, and you'll be able to check it out. And we'll select a few winners. Whoever wins will get some pretty sweet prizes. And Double Glory Weekend, I'm pretty sure it started by now, so get your game
by now, or it'll definitely start by the end of the stream if it hasn't started yet.
Yeah, definitely. So pretty soon, so be ready for that. And be sure to check out Shin and Addy Yendris's tournament tomorrow. The 1v1 tournament should be super exciting. I want to see it. I want to see like what hero comes out on top. Oh, can I get a kill here? Oh, yep, got a kill. Can I get another kill here? Got another. Oh, and the last one. I'm gonna run him down. And come on. Oh. Come on, right here. Nope, I missed.
Well,
that was very disappointing. But yeah. I hyped it up so much and I just didn't get the kill, so sad. What else is there? We do have Naked Green hosting a stream next week, so...
Oh, that's right.
Next Friday, I'm going to be out of town, so Naked Green, or aka T-Pumps, will be hosting the official stream, so be sure to check that out. It'll be super exciting. And yeah, let's finish this game off, and we'll be having a few more ice winners.
We certainly will. And for all those in Japan, in Korea, we're super excited to welcome you into Vainglory. Games from those regions have been a huge influence. And obviously, you know, George, you can speak a little bit to what the competitive scene for, you know, for this genre of game is in those parts of the world, especially Korea.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, I come from a huge MOBA background, so like I enjoy watching tournaments. I think that being able to move into like Korea, like the hotbed of like esports, is going to be super exciting for Vainglory. And even like, you know, just a lot more players being into the game is going to be fantastic. And I'm excited to see high level play. Like when we get like more features out that help support tournaments, it'll be fantastic. Oh, can I kill a scarf? I killed that scarf. I'm gonna run. I am dead. Dead. Sad.
5-1.
Yeah, pretty solid. Could have been better, but it's okay. So right now I don't need to upgrade a Sorrow Blade because, as Stefan said earlier, it's not really cost effective to upgrade it. Making it only take one item slot is actually more part of the cost of the upgrade. So leaving it as the 2 component parts is actually more cost efficient mid game. And the only time I'll upgrade to the Sorrow Blade is when my inventory slots max out. So right now my team seems to be getting to a fight. I'm just gonna push the lane real quick. I probably could help them. Do they need? Nah, they don't need my help. They're fine. I'm just gonna push.
Veilfire. So playoff beard. That is a reference to the NHL playoff tradition. So way back in the day, I worked for the NHL, and then I covered hockey professionally for a while. So it's kind of a nod to that, where once you get to the hockey playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, players do not shave until their season ends, or it ends with them hoisting the Stanley Cup. So that's where playoff beard comes from. That's what that reference is.
That's pretty awesome. I can't even imagine doing that. I guess it's not so bad when it's like really cold, because like on the hockey rink it's like pretty cold, but if it was like any other sport, I think it'd be kind of tough.
It's kind of bled over into some other sports now.
Oh yeah? Interesting.
Z-Kent, what's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh.
Y Guy 3K?
I really like Rice Krispies. They are so good. Even though like they're not very sweet, I just think something about them. I just really like Rice Krispies.
You can put sugar on them?
Nah, I think just plain old Rice Krispies are really, really good. I'm not sure why.
So DBAS 30 really quick. So crystal power, that is the power of your abilities. Your abilities will deal crystal damage. And energy is, you know, the little blue bar underneath what is spent when you use your abilities. And if you run out of energy, then you're not going to be able to use abilities anymore. Basic attacks are weapon power. They deal weapon damage. And when you're in the store, you can see items that give you more weapon power are going to make your basic attack stronger. Items that give you more crystal power are going to make your abilities hit harder.
Yep. So right now, I bought my Sorcerer Mask, and I'm just pretty much buying a lot of weapon damage. And like, I personally really enjoy playing the Weapon Saw, just because I feel like if you can position well, you can destroy an entire enemy team by yourself, as long as you have a little bit of cover. But in terms of damage, like, you're the only one your team needs.
So Darkseid Dragon is talking about Weapon Saw, but then Saw's Ultimate in update 1.1.5, because there were some changes that moved a lot of the Ultimate to crystal power, to kind of crystal builds. How do you think about Saw now when you're building weapon, in terms of, do you still put 3 points in the Ultimate, and kind of your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I almost always still put 3 points in the Ultimate, just even though the splash damage doesn't happen anymore. Just the fact that he can just do so much overwhelming damage with his... 1 second, need to kill this guy. Come on, get back here. Come on. I don't think I can catch him. Okay. Oh, there he is. There he is. Come on. Oh. Yeah. Too slow.
He canceled the recall. Woo. A second too slow there. Got the kill.
That was close.
How do you feel about the change?
I think it was a good change overall, because it felt like Weapon Saw was, whenever he hit his ultimate, it was kind of an I win button, because he can single-handedly like take out 3 people, which was a little bit overkill. Now he has to more like intelligently choose his targets, and he can't just like hit the closest target to kill everyone. So overall, I think it was a really good change. And this way, it makes crystal builds a little bit more viable, because that way you'll have the big splash damage, and you have the huge burst already from the crystal power. Like, the roadie run with crystal power is devastating. I think a crystal saw can probably take a weapon saw on one-on-one in a fight, no problem.
If you're asking about the Reddit contest that we're going to run, Zken is going to post details about that. This was kind of a sneak preview, but you can start thinking about what you might want to do for that now. For anyone who just joined us, do you want to say that again? What it's going to be?
The Reddit contest will be, we're going to be making a contest for the new SNU icon on our subreddit. So if you don't know what SNU is, it's a little tiny alien dude on Reddit. Most Reddit pages have one. And we want to have one that's customized to Vainglory. And I'm going to be posting a contest running from probably next Monday and running for about 2 weeks. And anyone who wants to submit a SNU could potentially have their SNU featured in the subreddit, in addition to winning a few awesome prizes. You know, maybe some ice, maybe some other goodies.
I'm going to put the URL to the subreddit in here again.
And the contest is not live yet, so keep an eye on that on Monday. Boom.
What's your rank now on EU and on NA?
On EU, I have absolutely no idea, but on NA, I think it's the hotness.
Asks
maybe?
Kale Witch.
I'm pretty sure I'm the hotness in NA. I'm not 100% sure on EU yet. I'll find out after this game. Maybe I'm decentish.
You're playing mostly on NA right now?
Yeah, I've mostly been playing on NA. As you can see, I do have a little bit of high ping on EU, so I'm a little bit more comfortable playing on North America, but I definitely enjoy playing on EU once in a while.
So we're in the Bay Area of California right now. That's
about as far as you can get. Oh, I got
so
killed.
Obviously the natural home is the NA servers.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you'll get a rematch with Sickness on NA servers.
I'll show him who's boss led.
Wow. Shots fired.
Boom. That should be a good match though. What do I want next? I'll get a Tyrant's Monocle. Because why not? Seems like a good pickup. So I'm 10, 2, and 5, and most of that just comes from I got really far ahead because of just a ton of early kills and some really good ganks by my teammates. On top of that, like they tried to dive me a few times, which didn't really work out for them. That was a little bit iffy on their end. Oh, we probably could have taken the gold mine, but it's a Kraken now, so that's okay. Let's see if I can sneak up behind them and get a few kills. Maybe. Hello. Oh, this Catherine is dead. This Saw is dead. This Scarf is also dead. I can't catch up to him because I'm slow.
Oh yeah, so Surprise Birthday's chiming in saying that every time you say mana, you mean energy.
Oh yes,
that's
energy.
a little bit of your professional background leaking through there.
My bad. Energy, yes. I am very used to saying mana. Alrighty, so my teammates are doing the Kraken. They help them. They don't really have that much DPS, and DPS like sustained damage per second. Taka doesn't really have super high DPS. Catherine definitely doesn't, so I'm going to be here taking down Kraken with them just to help them out. Because our Catherine is kind of dying, I'm taking now, but I'm going to be moving backwards while hitting the Kraken, which is kiting and pretty effective for, even if you're very immobile, like I'm barely moving after every shot, but getting like, even in the tiniest of steps can really make someone like miss a skill shot or just make it slightly harder to catch you. And that's really key in playing any sort of like range carry. So walking down the lane, we got the Kraken. I think we might be able to actually end the game right here. We're pretty powerful. I'm just going to use my suppressing fire to get all those stacks of spin up. And just, oh, there's a Scarf. If he comes, I'm just going to explode him. He is dead. He's not dead. I'm dead. Oh no! Oh, this was a mistake. Wow, he was tankier than I expected.
So Cold Pocketeer and everyone else. So the way we give out the ice, after every match, 3 lucky winners win 1,000 ice each. It's randomly selected using a Twitch add-on. All you have to do is be watching and be a follower of the stream, and you're automatically eligible. If you do win, then you want to send a message to Vainglory on Twitch with your IGN and your server region. So when this match is over, and it's pretty darn close, we'll do a last 3 winners of ice, and then we'll probably call it. Zken, do you think Kroll is OP?
Not at all. He's extremely easy to kite. Even if he has a lot of cooldowns, cooling acceleration, his dash will be on his Dead Man's Rush will be on a fairly short cooldown, but if you keep your range against him, he can't actually kill you. And his ultimate is actually fairly easy to block with the reflex block because it has a fairly long travel time. So as long as you're ready for it, it's really easy to deal with him. You just have to make sure he can't get his smite off on you. But other than that, I think he's pretty easy to deal with. Just make sure you have a few slows. Very helpful against him. Something like a Shiver Steel or even like a Frostburn will be really helpful. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions for me, feel free to ask. I will be happy to answer them. Pushing, pushing. They have 1 turret left. Let's go take it down. Their Sai is down here. Let's go kill him. He doesn't know what he has done. Oh wait, no, maybe he does.
So for the question on the ranks, we're not revealing all of the ranks. We're letting the players discover the ranks. So you can look in the forums. Pretty much players have posted, pretty much every rank that has been discovered so far. But when a player reaches a new tier, then you'll know what it is.
Someone will say it. It's like, I just reached blank. Redacted.
Yeah, so I'm going to put another...
Oh, they surrendered, okay.
So the link...
So this game went pretty well for us. They went full crystal, which is pretty dangerous. As we said earlier, building full all of one type of damage is pretty risky just because it's extremely built against that one type of damage. And we just kind of mowed over them, so that worked out pretty well. So thank you to Camille and Raft310 for playing with me. And hope you guys had a great time. Playoff here is going to give you guys a little bit more ice, and I think we're going to call it a day.
Okay, so DJ, figure out, we'll probably host someone. If you guys want to stick around, we'll throw someone else on the stream.
Yep.
I'm going to give away 3 more winners. We'll make sure that we don't host too early this time. Last time we said, and the 3rd winner is, and then we cut off.
Yes.
And people were trying to figure out who that 3rd winner is. And it was
a mystery.
It was quite suspenseful, and I was desperately trying to put the name in the chat, but we had already gone away. So
it was too late.
So let's do 3 more ice winners now. And Neon Squirrel, thank you for the compliment. I'll rephrase that for Z-Kent. What do you like about Vainglory? Like, what did this, what appealed to you about the game?
I actually really enjoy playing almost any MOBA, and Vainglory really stuck out to me because the control scheme was much more fluid than I expected. Like when I first heard the game, I was kind of skeptical because I'm used to playing on PC. I'm a PC gamer all my life, and actually swapping over to the touch controls felt extremely intuitive. Like after my first game was a little bit rough, but the second game was just I knew exactly what I could do and when I could do it. So that was yes, and I destroyed them. But yeah, it was a very easy transition, and I really enjoyed learning new maps and new heroes. Plus, the team here is fantastic.
Oh.
Hey, Lunista won.
So Lunista is a winner. Sprocket Eye is a winner. And the last winner is Dante Kills Virgil. It's a literary reference.
Dante Kills
Quite a
Virgil.
literary reference.
Oh, you forgot the D.
I forgot the D. So Dante Kills Virgil is a winner. So again, if you're one of these three winners, you want to click on Vainglory, you want to click on the little gear thing to send us a message, include your player name and your server region, and we'll get you your ice. If you came in late or missed something,